Sports fans, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, OG the Beast. Look, I got a special guest with me. Lights, camera, mic from TikTok, Instagram, and everything else. But before we get into all of that, as you know, it's been a lot of questions. You see Unc is not here with me. He actually stepped down to focus on himself. You know what I'm saying? Like everything he got going on in his life is more important than anything else social media oriented. So he said he needs some time. He said he need to, isolate himself and I hope the best for him, wish the best for him in his new endeavors and whatever he chooses to move forward with in life. I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back. He can't run from these conversations. Unc gonna be bite. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know Unc coming back. But as for right now, it's OG the Beast on some solo shit. And I'm going to have guests on frequently. I'm going to be on more throughout the week now because it's less scheduled. So look out for the spontaneity. I might just pop up on a Wednesday at 3 o'clock in the day. You never know. Hey, just come tune in live on Twitch. Y'all already know how we rocking. But shout out to the loyals over there on YouTube. Y'all been pressing me to upload more, and I will start uploading more. I will be on live more frequently. And be ready. You know what I'm saying? 2022 is going to be real sizzling. So shout out to them cats over there. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you enjoy what you're seeing. Dyline, man, it's high fire. We bring it to y'all every single week. Like I say, I'm going to be uploading more often for y'all. So be on the lookout for that. You can't join it live on Twitch. These episodes will go up on YouTube the next day. Shout out to the loyals we got up in here right now. Shout out to Darius. Shout out to Ben. You ain't been in there in a while. Ben, what's going on? Diesel, what's popping? Shout out to y'all, man, for continuing to support, and being here. But like I say, we got a special guest. DJ, what's popping? I see you in here. We got a special guest today. Lights, camera, mic, man. What's going on? Tell me about yourself.
Solid. Honestly, I appreciate you for having me on. It really means a lot. It's the first time I've ever done this, so I'm really, 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 really excited to get going.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, man. I'm happy to have you. This dude right here is a LA native, man, born and raised, true to the heart Los Angeles Lakers fan. He ain't too happy about his squad right now. So we gonna get into some stuff, of course, about these Lakers that missed these playoffs. It's a disaster, man. It's nasty, man. But I just gotta ask you some questions, man. I want to know a little bit something about you, and what you do over here on social media, TikTok, Instagram. Tell the people where they can find you at, and a little bit about yourself.
okay, so you guys can find me on TikTok at right there, Lights Camera Mike. As of right now, that's my largest platform, over 7,000 on that. And it's really funny how I even got into the whole TikTok wave. So around this time a year ago, Kyle ass uh, laid some goose eggs in the playoffs against the Suns. And when we finally got eliminated, I just had enough and made a video and was just telling him, just speaking how I feel. And I'm from LA, so there's certain things that LA say. So I told him that he deserves a DP. For the dead homies, I need a fade. X, Y, and
I
Z.
seen that
I
video.
told, yeah, I told everybody I'm at the Staples Center. I'm tripping. Anybody need that? They can run up. And yeah, so I posted it on Instagram. Not thinking much of it, but I seen it was getting a lot of traction on Instagram. And the funny thing is, a lot of people like my girl and some of the close homies were telling me to make the picture and post like some of my takes on it. But I never really paid it any mind because I just thought TikTok was just for comedy, not knowing that TikTok has like all different avenues. There's like range for anyone. Like even if you like laundry, there's laundry videos you can
No
watch on
doubt.
TikTok. So
Yeah.
so one day I just noticed like I was just getting a lot of views on my YouTube episode. And also, people were sending me a TikTok link, but because I don't have TikTok on my phone, it was just coming up as a bunch of numbers and letters. So I like four people in the same link. So I decided to go on TikTok and see what it was. So I downloaded TikTok. I clicked on the link. Somebody that I've never met in my life took my video, posted it on TikTok, and today it probably has almost 1 million views. And
Wow.
I was just reading. Yeah, mind you, I don't know this dude. So I'm reading these comments and I'm just like, people just like, who is this? Like, he's funny. Like, where can I find the rest of this? Like, blah, blah. Like, what's his Instagram? What's his IG? And that's when I realized, like, yo, I might be onto something. And the crazy thing about that whole video is just like, it's unrehearsed. It's just, I wouldn't say it's unrehearsed, but it's just me in my truest form. Like, I'm just like, naturally, I'm a loud, extra person. I'm a really passionate person. Like, the same way I talk about basketball, the same way I talk about black women, you know what I mean? The same way I talk about pasta, chicken. Like, if I genuinely rock with something, with it. And I'm gonna go to bat for it all day, every day. That's why I'm so hard on my Lakers. That's why, matter of fact, they need to put me in the damn front office. They need to put me in the front office.
Kick Rob
I'm not.
Palinka
I'm not.
ass out and
Like,
put Mike
yeah,
in there, huh?
a lot of this stuff I would have never co-signed. Look, Ron, you stay on the court, you dribble, you shoot, you facilitate. I got this. There's no, we gonna get into later that, but
We're going to get
like I
into
said,
it.
so that's the start of my TikTok journey, and from then I made a TikTok, and I finally posted the video on my TikTok. It got like 20,000. But the crazy thing is that guy, like I said, I've never met him. I don't even know who he is. He went from having 300 followers on TikTok to 600,
Wow.
and he got
Off
he
your
got
video.
over. Oh yeah, off my video. And the crazy thing is how I didn't think it was gonna blow up. I didn't even put the little what's that thing called? Like the
Your
watermark.
tag? Yeah,
Yeah. I
watermark.
didn't even put it on that because look, I swear I would have been thankful if I got 1,000 views
Right. You were
on
just being
Instagram.
yourself on there, and it ended
Yeah, I
up
was just being
popping.
myself, and then every video after that I posted it because I genuinely like the last thing I was ever expecting was for what bro. I go out in public now, people just like, yo, like
Yeah. Yeah.
they be quoting this quote because like I said A24 Mafia. And then, people from outer state is think, I'm in LA, and people out of state is thinking it's a real gang.
Yeah.
I see people in the comments like, black people always got to bring gang banging into everything. I was
Nah,
like, nah,
man. Nah, man.
this is real hood. I just love Kobe. Kobe. Long live Gigi. And I'm always, always, always gonna represent. And what the larger my platform gets, the more people are gonna hear me. All the stuff that I believe and all the stuff that I preach, and things that I think my values, my beliefs, like people are gonna hear more and more of that. The bigger I get, it's gonna touch more and more people. So,
No
you know,
doubt. So you
I
got
always, I always
you got lights, camera, mic on TikTok, and of course you recorded that on a certain platform as well. Tell the people where they can find your podcast. Name of your podcast.
pull up the tape. Yes, sir. Pull up the tape. I mean, it was 12 words. I mean, tape is involved in sports. I always hear. Before I get to that, I want to give a big shout out to Devontae Adams. I call Devontae Adams because in an interview in the 2019 off season, Devontae Adams was doing an interview with on Yahoo Sports, and he was just telling the dude, he was just like, yeah, like the interviewer asked him, he was like, so like, how do you feel about people, saying that you're only good because Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback? And Devontae looked him straight in the face. Cameron was like, yo, go pull up my tape. I'm the one beating these. I'm the one terrorizing these DBs.
Yeah.
I'm terrorizing them off the line. They cannot stay in front of me. They can't rock with me. They can't keep up with me step for step. It don't matter who's throwing me the ball. Like, and he said, look at my tape. Look at my tape. I'm creating 3 or 4 yards of separation on every route. Every route.
Real talk.
And
Tay Adams, the best wide receiver in the league.
I heard that, but this is 3 years ago. I heard that. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Tay a dog. Tay a dog. They saying your mic keep going in and out. I don't know if it's them AirPods, man. Them AirPods be a little funky sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, though, we gonna get into this LeBron James, man. You're an avid Lakers fan, diehard Lakers fan. The Los Angeles Lakers missed the playoffs. Now, damn the playoffs. They missed the play-in. Something that LeBron James was completely against. Last year when they implemented it for the first time, if y'all don't know what the play-in is, it's an opportunity for lower seeds to get into the playoffs to kind of prevent tanking. 15 teams in the East, 15 teams in the West. If you give 10 teams an opportunity to make that 8th spot, it also, like I say, it stops tanking, slows down tanking, but not only that, it also lets the 7th and the 8th seed know, hey, you ain't safe. You know what I'm saying? You still got to maintain that spot. And it's crazy because the play-in allows the 7th seed to miss the playoffs if you slacken, if you call slipping. So the Los Angeles Lakers didn't even make the play-in. They eliminated, and they didn't even push it to the brink. Like, they didn't even push it to the last day of eligibility. They completely missed the play-in, and I want to know the reason why, right? I came up with a philosophy. Everybody is saying Russell Westbrook this, Russell Westbrook that, Anthony Davis is injured. Everybody's coming up with these excuses. What if I told you it's LeBron's fault? What if I said LeBron James should hold majority of the blame for why the Los Angeles Lakers didn't make the playoffs? Now, I know everybody's saying, hey, OG, why would you say LeBron? The man is averaging 38 and 8 on 52% shooting from the field, 30-something% shooting from three. He's playing the greatest offensive basketball arguably he's ever played in his career, right? You can legitimately make that case. But to be honest with you, during the whole second stretch of the season, the Los Angeles Lakers won 4 games total after the All-Star break. That is unacceptable. Now, if you want to give me the injury, so let's break it down. If you want to give me the injury excuse, Anthony Davis is out, then tell me why the New Orleans Pelicans is the 8th seed in the Western Conference right now. No Zion the entire season. Why are the Pelicans there? You could say the same thing about a multitude of teams. You could say the same thing about the Clippers. They had no Paul George, no Kawhi Leonard. You could say the same thing about Joker with no Jamal Murray, no MPJ. So what's the Lakers' excuse? You can't use injuries. What you going to say now, camaraderie? Oh, these guys haven't been together long enough? Well, LeBron doesn't stay with a team long enough to create camaraderie, so that's not his fault. He won a championship in 2020 with Anthony Davis, and Carmelo Anthony is one of his best friends. So miss me with camaraderie. What you going to say? Russell Westbrook was ass? Before I toss it to you, Mike. What you going to say? Russell Westbrook was ass? We're using the process of elimination. Russell Westbrook was ass? Was he really? Russell Westbrook last year with Washington was 22, 11, and 11. That's a triple-double. He averaged a triple-double for the 4th time in 5 years. 22, 11, and 11. But if you look at his shooting splits, 43% from the field, 31% from three, 65% from the free throw line. That's typical Russell Westbrook. This year, 18, 7, and 7. Now, you could probably guess why he didn't average 22, 11, and 11. It was Bradley Beal he was playing with last season, typically an all-ball player, not very ball dominant. Plus, Russell Westbrook took 5 more shots last year, and his usage rate is down tremendously with the Lakers versus when it was with Washington. Now, but the splits, 44% from the field this year versus 43% last year. 30% from three this year versus 31% last year. 65% from the free throw line this year, 65% last year. So everybody's trying to blame Russell Westbrook as if the acquisition of him was going to change life in LA. Newsflash. Russell Westbrook is the same player he was last year. It's just on a brighter scale. You here to see it with your own 2 eyes now. That's the only difference, ladies and gentlemen. There is no, Westbrook is the reason because this is who Russell Westbrook is. I don't understand why y'all thought he would get better as he aged. That's not how things work. Mike, why the hell is the Lakers so ass this season? Who do you blame? Because I blame LeBron, and I'm going to get to that after you go. Who do you blame for the Lakers taking all these L's?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you good to go.
Okay, I don't specifically blame a single person. I blame a series of events. 1, letting Alex Caruso walk because you didn't want to match his contract. Alex Caruso is one of the and I said this on my podcast. Lakers went from the first ranked defense to 26 in the span of 2 seasons. Last year they were top 10. This year they were 26. Why? They let their best on ball and wing defenders leave. And I said a series of events because 1, Alex Caruso should have been re-signed. He was willing to take a discount. He took less money to go to the Bulls than what he wanted. He wanted to stay with the Lakers. But that's one. And then another one was the Westbrook trade. I'm not blaming it specifically on Westbrook, but the Westbrook trade also saw KCP leave. KCP is one of our best on-ball defenders. Those 2 reasons, I can't stress defense, defense. You can't go from a top 10 defense There's 30 teams in the NBA. The Lakers are ranked 26th defensively. Why is no one talking about that? Like that's a major reason as to why they're trash. You got some of the worst you got some of the worst teams in the NBA putting up 120 points on the Lakers. How? I said it on my podcast. The Rockets beat the Lakers. These are some of the I'm about to name some of the worst teams in the NBA that coincidentally also beat the Lakers this season. OKC beat the Lakers twice. The Sacramento Kings beat the Lakers twice. The Houston Rockets, the Indiana Pacers, the terrible teams. These are terrible teams. Like go pull up the tape, y'all. There's games where we blew 30-point lead. The Timberwolves, the Pelicans.
Yeah. It's pretty bad for y'all out there. It's pretty bad. So you don't want to attribute it to one single thing. You say it's a combination of things to why the Lakers is ass pretty much.
Do you agree? Do you agree with what I said?
I agree to a certain extent because everything plays a factor. I just feel like LeBron should hold most of the blame, not only because the Russell Westbrook, right? They felt like, hey, we need another superstar for when guys go down. LeBron's getting old. Anthony Davis has a high risk of injury. He goes down. We got a guy that can carry the load, right? Instead of thinking about the long term, you try to think about the short-term fix, a Band-Aid for the problem, for a potential problem, right? Versus building a roster full of guys that can coexist with each other, guys that make sense together. Russell Westbrook does not make sense on no team except a team with no expectation that ain't got nothing to play for.
Truthfully, they should have just ran it back with the team they had last year.
Facts.
The only thing that went wrong is Anthony Davis got hurt.
Yeah.
And he got hurt in the because we're putting it on Phoenix. We're putting game 4, we were up like 10 going into halftime. We're up 2-1. We're not gonna act like the series didn't just fall apart when AD got hurt. Like it was realistically there wasn't much wrong with the roster we had last year. We had shooting, we had defense. They should have kept that team together. I don't really see.
Yeah, if that team is healthy, is one of the best defensive teams in the league, especially Anthony Davis anchoring that Anthony Davis anchoring that defense.
Yeah, I feel like Bron deserves blame because
your mic cutting out.
I am more than likely sure that Coach Pelinka, everyone deserves blame too because I'm more than likely sure he is the one who Pelinka because, like I said, check the tape from 2 years ago in the bubble. We are letting Westbrook shoot. We're not worried about it. We want him to shoot. We want him to shoot off the screens. Like if you go back to that tape and check that series, man, I don't even understand how 2 years later you will want that player in the trade.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
That was my whole point initially when they acquired
Russell. I literally
Westbrook.
thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke when I seen the Lakers were interested in him. I'm like, why? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
We played him a year and a half ago in the bubble, and he was atrocious. We were sagging off him. We were letting him shoot. We were letting him do whatever he wanted.
LeBron was playing him at the free throw line.
Guarding him like he's Ben Simmons.
That's what I'm saying. And this is the guy you wanted to acquire for what reason? For star power reason?
Not even just acquire. You decimated your team to acquire him.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And that's
come on now. So LeBron for sure deserves blame for that. But then also Pelinka. Come on now. Like this was a flip down. Look, that's not attributing to winning basketball. We're not getting him. And we're definitely not decimating our team for him.
Right.
I think they should have went after Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of things. I can't specifically, and then I'm not even. I can't. Frank Vogel, come here, boy. I'm gonna barbecue you too. These rotations are horrible. Like, just like you said, what is the Lakers' excuse? Like the injury thing. That's not a thing. That is not a thing. That's not a thing. The NBA is the top 1% of basketball players. All of these dudes can go.
Yeah.
All of these dudes can hoop. As a coach, you're supposed to get no. Frank Vogel don't get no passes either. That injury excuse, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. Joel Embiid did not have Ben Simmons the majority of the season.
Yeah,
Philly never
Vogel's.
felt.
Yeah, Tubby say
Philly never.
Vogel's rotations were terrible. I like.
Philly never fell lower than 4 in the East.
Yeah,
They didn't have their second best player. No, no.
right.
That coaching that injury thing is a nonsense. That's an excuse.
It's an
Anthony
excuse. It's a
Davis.
cop out to me, in my opinion. Tubby said, "Can we talk about how AD isn't that guy everybody wants him to be? Like he doesn't work out in the offseason. I don't want to say AD doesn't work out. I feel like the injury bug has haunted him his entire career, and it's not like." To me, I say when I watch a player play and I see players that consistently get hurt, the number one thing that sticks out to me is how he's getting hurt. Is he stepping on somebody's foot? Is he running up and down the court and all of a sudden he grabs his hamstring? You know, how is he getting hurt? If I see a player consistently getting unforced injuries, that's a red flag to me. But if I see a player like how Russell Westbrook towards meniscus versus how D Rose towards meniscus, jumping in the air, D Rose was literally running back on defense after a bucket, and he lost his balance. Nobody touched him. Nobody. That's a red flag. You see, Rose ain't been the same. Versus Russell Westbrook, scores table, right? Patrick Beverly banged his knee towards meniscus. What happened? He came back. He was cool. Those are not red flags. Those are just unfortunate situations. And I think this year, Anthony Davis has been a part of some unfortunate situations. He stepped on a couple of people's feet. He's rolled his ankles a couple of times. So I don't think it's unforced injuries. I just think it's been unfortunate. The injury bug just haunts Anthony Davis. Ain't no way around it. Like he can't get around it for some reason. So, you know, I don't know what that is. But like I say, Anthony Davis, when he was healthy, he wasn't playing up to par to begin with, so he can hoist some of that blame as well. 23-10 is not enough. When LeBron is giving you 36 and 7, you need to be the best player on the squad. You know what I'm saying? You need 100%, and he's from my city. And I'll let it be known, Anthony Davis, you need to be the best player on the floor for this Lakers team to work. When they won a championship, Anthony Davis led that team in 4 out of the 5 major statistical categories: points, rebounds, blocks, and steals, I believe. And LeBron was second in most of those. But that's what it took for them to win the NBA championship in the bubble, for Anthony Davis to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? So the Los Angeles Lakers got some fixing to do. They're going to have to rip this team apart, in my opinion, get rid of some contracts, restructure some deals, and bring in some they need a talent scout. This is what they need. They need somebody to find some cheap talent, whether it be D-League, whether it be trades through the draft, young assets just sitting around. There are talented players on rosters right now that's not getting no minutes that could be quality assets to the Los Angeles Lakers. They need somebody to look into that, to find a few nobodies that are willing to fall into a system and be cogs in a system, 3-and-D type guys. There's guys out here. You just got to locate them. Straight like that. They looking for too much star power because that's what LA's built on. You know, they don't bring in mediocre talent. They bring in Wilt Chamberlains. They bring in Shaqs. They trade for Kobe Bryants. They bring in Pau Gasols. This is what they do. So I get it why you chose Westbrook over Buddy Hield, but it cost you a playoff run, and it's completely unacceptable for a guy of LeBron James's caliber to be missing the playoffs with a play-in game eligibility. That's completely unacceptable.
One of the things I want to say is, y'all understand, like, if there was no play-in, the Lakers season would have been over like a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's funny you said LeBron was so opposed to the play-in last season, but now that's the only reason why their season led to, like, got to this point where it was 2 days before the season was over, couple days before the season was over, that everything, that we were finally eliminated. If it was 10 years ago, our season would have been cooked.
Yeah, no doubt.
But to your point about Anthony Davis, you know, let me jog people's memory. Do you remember when Anthony Davis and Giannis were around the same level? Like, you know, it's like, okay, who's the best power forward in the league? So like the past 24 months, past 18 months, Giannis just surpassed and shot past AD. Giannis sustained like a crazy injury in the Eastern Conference Finals, and somehow came back and dominated
the finals.
I don't think I will ever see Anthony Davis do that. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
And he's only 29 years of age, ladies and gentlemen. Like
28.
Like that's
28. He's supposed to be in the prime of his career. Like, just look at Anthony Davis and just look at Giannis. Like, no one in their right mind would say that Giannis has more skill than Anthony Davis or anything. But Giannis is like Giannis is from where I'm from, Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis comes from nothing. Giannis has had Giannis's story is incredible. Giannis is the only player that I can honestly say that has been in the NBA and then every single year he's gotten better.
Yeah,
How many
literally.
other players in NBA history can we say that about?
Is not many.
Every single
Every
year
single
he's
year
gotten
he's
better.
improved in some statistical category. Shout out to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's a dog, arguably the best player in the league. But I got another question for you. LeBron James right now is averaging 30.1. Joel Embiid is at 30.3. Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo have been on a scoring tear over the last few weeks, last few games. LeBron James sat out his last 5 games. So he's been stuck at that 30.1. But I think it's one or two. I think it's one more game the Lakers got. And that's Sunday. LeBron James had one tonight he potentially could have played. He turned it down. And there's another game on Sunday. Joel Embiid is also playing that Sunday. But if LeBron goes crazy, he has a legitimate opportunity to shoot his scoring up at least maybe 1/10, 2/10 of a point, enough to maybe potentially secure the scoring title. My question to you is, should he try to go get the scoring title on Sunday?
What is that going to do? Like, cares? Like,
he'll be the oldest player in NBA history to win a scoring title.
is that going to swing the pendulum towards him in the GOAT debate? Like,
but it'll create argument. It'll create debate.
You also missed the playoffs that season. That's literally what's gonna be said. Oh, LeBron's like they're gonna be like, shut up. He missed the playoffs that season. That's literally what's gonna happen. Like if somebody's playing devil advocate, they're gonna say they missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
They missed the playoffs when they're playing. So no, it doesn't matter. Like, bro, sit down, go have your wine, your Lobos, do what you do. I don't really care if he plays or if he doesn't play. It just doesn't really if he does and wins it, like literally with LeBron James and the player he is, people are gonna find something to pick at anyway. So
no
if
doubt.
he does make that,
I agree with that.
If he does make that, they're gonna be like, you missed the playoffs.
Right.
The Jordan fans or LeBron James be like, you think I care about that? He missed the playoffs.
Right.
Like you think do people set out to win scoring titles or make the playoffs at the beginning of the season?
Right. I guess it's one of those things where, excuse me, if LeBron James was to do it, 15, 20 years down the line, it probably won't be repeated by that time. It's one of those things where you look back and say, who was the oldest player to win one? Somebody's 35, 36 years old. Who's the oldest player? Oh, LeBron, he was 37.
They will never forget that the Lakers missed the playoffs that same season.
See, and that's what I'm saying. That's the potential backfire from doing that. Or even getting into let's say he get into the game to try to do it and don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that somebody else maybe, that's something you could throw in the fire too with it.
Well, so I promise you they will never forget that.
Yeah.
The Lakers didn't even make the playoffs that year. Shut up.
Right, exactly. That's definitely, yeah. That if I had to take a stab at it, I'd say LeBron, sit your ass down too, because it was discussions about him potentially coming back just for this reason and this reason only. I'm not with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had a lot of opportunities to get this scoring title. He was on a scoring tear himself, even though the Lakers was ass. Lakers was Gabricio. He was still on a scoring tear, so he had an opportunity to do so. Let one of these young cats get it. He probably won't do it. He won't repeat this type of success next season. It's going to be tough for him to average 30. But just the fact that it's in the books that LeBron averaged 30 at 37 years old is a feat. They're going to look at his, 20 years, 25 years from now, they're going to look at his stats and be like, damn, LeBron was 37 and he averaged 30. So that's going to be something people going to always talk about anyway, whether he win a scoring title or not. It's looking like Embiid might take that home, though. But speaking of Embiid, even though I feel like Joel Embiid is the best.
Bounce in the first round.
Bounce in the first round? You think so? I'm gonna be talking about my playoff predictions next week when the play-in bracket is sold up and everything is locked in. I'm gonna come on here spontaneously with that playoff bracket and we're gonna walk through it.
Can you honestly see the Sixers making it to the Eastern Conference Finals?
The road to the Eastern Conference this year is tough, man. The road to the Eastern Conference is no doubt it's tougher than it's been in the last 15 years. and that's no doubt. Can I see him? Harden going to have to step his game up. Harden going to 100% have to step his game up if they want a legitimate shot against any of these premier teams. But anything goes in the East. The Nets is at the bottom of the Eastern Conference right now. Anything can happen in the East to me. I don't think nothing is a lock in the East. Straight up.
I think the Bucks are a lock in to make the East.
You think they are locked to make the Eastern Conference Finals?
Hey, man,
Your headphones going out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what the crazy thing is? At the end of last season, I literally said I can't see a scenario where these two teams make the finals again. But here we are a year later, and
it's possible.
It looks like it is possible. Giannis, like I said, the Bucks are even better than last year.
Yeah.
Their record might not indicate it, but the eye test. Oh yeah,
they trouble, and Giannis is playing less minutes than he did last year. You know, which is a sign that his team has improved. You know, another year of camaraderie. Jrue Holiday, I believe, is one of the most underrated players in the league.
Holiday is a dog.
Yeah.
Jrue Holiday is a bully.
Celtics, Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I could see it if they don't meet prior to that. But we gonna talk about it because I'm gonna be on here and I'm gonna bring me a bracket and I'm gonna discuss who I got winning, who I got losing. I'm gonna say that for next week. We gonna get more into that. But while we on the subject of big man, there was one big man that accomplished something that I think needs to be talked about yesterday.
Team All NBA.
They
First
should.
Team All NBA.
And no doubt, I feel like
NBA.
they was talking about actually trying to slide Joel Embiid and Joker. That shit garbage. Do not do that.
That's
NBA, do not make exceptions for that because it's been all-time great guys that have fallen to that. Hakeem Olajuwon didn't get it because, you know, somebody else got it.
The 90s for centers was a Royal Rumble.
Right.
Don't do that. I don't want to see none of that. I seen Chris Broussard on First Things First today put Embiid in. No.
Don't do that
Jokic
shit.
is the best center in the NBA.
It's Embiid to me.
He played 7 more games than Joel Embiid. That should count for something.
Yeah. I think Embiid is a higher seed in this conference, though. But even with that being said,
the Nuggets have a better record. The Nuggets
got a better record? Okay.
Yeah.
So Joel Embiid to me is the best center in the league, but it's very close. It's pick 'em to me. I like Joel Embiid. I like dominance. You know, I like dominance, and I think Joel Embiid don't bail nobody out. I think Joker bails people out by sitting at that three-point line all day, even though he's making plays or whatever. The guy's amazing. First player in NBA history to score 2,000 points, get 1,000 rebounds, and 500-plus assists. First player in NBA history.
LeBron's never done that either.
LeBron has never done that. And I think the deciding factor is the 1,000 rebounds, right? Because the first thing that popped in my head is, damn, Westbrook ain't do that shit? So I go, look, the highest Westbrook ever got was like 800 rebounds. So in order for you to get what people fail to realize is Joker on the season is 27, 14, and 8. So to get that many rebounds, you got to average around 13 or 14 rebounds per game. Do the math. So, you know, with Joker doing what I'm saying about Joker, right? I like to psychoanalyze these players and try to predict where they're going to finish off. I like to do that because the way the NBA is being played is easier to score points, is less defense being played, and the rule book caters to the offensive side of the ball more. So if I was to say right now, Joker is averaging 27, 14, and 8 on the season, shooting 58%. Shooting 58% from the field, 33% from three, which is not bad for a big, and 81% from the free throw line. That's great. Great shooting splits. So right now, Joker has 10,364 total points. He's got over 3,000 assists and 5,000 rebounds. He's only in his 7th season. So let's say Joker plays another 7 seasons. That's 14 years. I think he'll play longer, though, but he's a big man. You never know how this shit might go. So let's say Joker plays a total of 14 seasons. I could see Joker at this pace that he's at right now, if he were to keep it up for the next 7 seasons, I can see him hovering somewhere around 26,000 points, 11,000 rebounds, 7,000 assists. That would make him the all-time assist man in league history for a center. Passing, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who has a little bit over 6,000 assists for his career in shorter time.
He gonna shred
He
that.
gonna shatter that. You know what I'm saying? Wilt Chamberlain is right underneath him with about 5,000 some assists. You know what I'm saying? So at this pace, without winning, because winning matters. Now, if he finds a way to pull it out and get a ring somehow, and he's the reason, with these numbers, I could see Joker being moving himself in the top 15, top 10 all time, right? No wins, he's gonna be outside of the top 20. Sad to say. What you think about Joker this season, though, Mike?
Okay, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Based on what you just said, so when it's all said and done, is Joker better than Dirk?
Is he better than Dirk?
Yeah. If everything goes as you said,
Does he get a
everything
ring?
goes as you said. Yeah, he gets a ring.
Yes.
But
I would take.
Dirk's that 2011 run was the
It was. We looking at. See, Dirk got almost 32. Dirk got 31,000 points. Dirk has 11,000 rebounds himself. So I might be actually slighting Joker with giving him 11,000 rebounds. Joker could potentially get 13,000 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? So Dirk did play 20 years, damn near 20 years. This is only in 14 seasons. I'm giving these numbers 14 years. We're talking about guys like Duncan that played 20. You know, guys like Kobe that played 20. Guys like Dirk that played 19. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm giving this is less years than what Mike played. 14 years is a short career. So if we add on another 4 years, we could potentially be talking about 30,000 points, 13,000 rebounds, 9,000 assists. That's incredible. With a ring, see, here's the thing, though, when it comes to the top 10 all time. Everybody in the top 10 at least has 2 or more rings. Everybody. Everybody in the top 10 at least has an MVP. He checks that box. Now, the 2 or more rings is what's going to be the discrepancy in whether or not he gets into the top 10, if you ask me. Jokic is as great as a talent as he is. If you run down your top 10 players of all time, every single one of them have at least 2 championships. A finals MVP and 2 championships. That's like the standard to be in the top 10 player, right? So I don't know how far that can take.
MVPs.
Say it again?
Or multiple MVPs.
Yeah, I mean, all of them got at least 1 MVP and multiple rings. That's like the bottom line. 1 MVP, multiple rings. Every single one of them. We're going to get to top 10 players all time a little bit later on. But Joker has been nothing short of exquisite. And, you know, I wouldn't take anything away from him. I just feel like Embiid is better right now. Joker's balling outside of his mind. He probably going to win another MVP. But Joel Embiid, man, he is a animal.
No, I don't see that happening.
You don't think he's going to win MVP?
Giannis deservedly should get this one.
Yeah, Giannis could get it. I mean, it's a 3-man race right now. I think Giannis might be in the lead, but Embiid and Joker is not too far behind him, considering
True.
I think they take into consideration the fact that Jamal Murray's been out, MPJ's been out, and he's got this team as the 5th seed in the Western Conference basically by himself. You know, and I think they taken that into consideration. And nobody outside of the 4th seed hasn't won it since Russell Westbrook. Before Russell Westbrook, you got to date all the way back to the 1970s when Kareem won it without making the playoffs. So the NBA is pretty consistent about being a top 3 seed to win the MVP. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? That's why I say Giannis could potentially win it just off the strength of that right there.
So true. I know people like to see, you know, back and forth in debates, but I feel like there's certain things that you can't really debate on.
Right.
Jokic's season is just simply incredible, honestly. To think that he's upped his numbers from last year. Like I said, no MPJ. And I know the Nuggets, and we just gave this dude like over
right.
$100 million. Like, I remember that I did a podcast the day he signed that extension. I'm just like, that's a lot of money to get to. Yeah, right. That's a lot of money. And then, you know, truthfully, as an asset, he's just like a car. He's depreciating.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting more and more, like, you know, unreliable when it comes to his health and his, whatever,
And
even though
he's
the
too
production is
young.
there.
That's the downside of it. Like, he ain't even really played nothing yet. It's hindering his development because every
But
year
even
you
but even
spend rehabbing is one less year you spend working on your game. So,
even the whole draft process, bro, like let's not forget, MPJ is supposed to be like the first overall pick.
right.
He
Yeah, I
ended up
remember.
going 15th. He ended up going. He was the number one player out of high school. Barely played at Missouri. That's what shot down his draft stock.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was barely a lottery pick, and that's why the Nuggets got a steal.
Yeah.
So watching him ball and go crazy, in the playoffs last year and in the bubble against the Clippers wasn't a like, midnight game.
Yeah, I knew
But
he had game.
but what's happened, and he's like kind of one of the kind of like the product of having Kevin Durant in the league for such a long time. You're gonna see more and more spawns of him like being trickled into the league, as the years continue to come. But he has to stay healthy. So as you said, I think the committee will take into the fact that there was no Jamal Murray, and the Nuggets are still one of the not even they're not a top four seed, but their record is up. I think they have a better record than the Sixers. If and they probably are like one or two games behind the Bucks in terms of like actual record. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
know the seeding. The Western Conference is a little bit more competitive. Has Suns have the best record, and so on and so forth. So either him or Giannis, honestly.
Yeah, Giannis mess around and run away with it, no doubt. Though I think Giannis. Now that I think about it, Giannis has been nothing short of dominant. Not to say them other guys haven't either, but the record matters, and the race might be Giannis, Embiid, and then Joker. So we'll see how that goes. But Mike, I got a question for you before we get out of here. I got a question for you. Are you one of these guys that feel like these older cats, if they played in today's game, they wouldn't be shit? Or are you a guy that respects the 60s and the 50s and the 70s eras of basketball? What you got to say about them?
I try to have a healthy balance of in between. I don't feel like I'm not going to say Jerry West would be a dog now or anything like that. What I honestly believe is the like role players and like the tier two, tier three players are way better now than they were. What you call it? Like, I mean, Buddy Hill. Buddy Hill could average like 25 every single 30 every single night in the 60s. Like, come on now. He like I feel like the top like, and this is across the board in every single sport. I feel like if you're one of the best players of a decade, you will dominate in any era. Like the notion that Steph Curry couldn't be an All NBA point guard in the 80s or 90s is laughable.
Right.
Like that just makes no sense. If you're the top of the top for a period of 10 years, you can dominate. That means you're just good at basketball.
Facts.
Doesn't matter the rules. Doesn't matter the screens. The none of that. Doesn't matter any defensive game plan. Any of that nonsense. You are good at basketball. You know how to fight. You know how to fight. It doesn't matter who you're fighting. If you can run routes, you can run routes. It doesn't matter who's covering you or anything like that. So that's what I believe. But the notion that but like I said, like basketball's way better now. Like Scottie Pippen never had to guard anyone like Kevin Durant, like ever.
No doubt.
There was no Nikola Jokic just walking around in the NBA a couple years ago. There wasn't somebody. What's the closest thing the NBA has seen to Giannis from the 60s to the 90s?
Closest thing the NBA seen to Giannis, probably like a Ralph Sampson or let me think.
That's barbecue chicken.
Shaq.
That's Giannis. Shaq was nowhere near as fast as Giannis.
Yeah, I mean that's the closest as far as dominance. I mean that's the best you're gonna get. If you're talking about a 6'10", 6'11"
No,
guy,
I'm saying like his actual game, like
a
the
six foot
prototype of
a 6'10" to 7 foot guy with a ball handle that can attack the basket and play defense like that. We've never seen a species like that before. And and
that's what
and
I'm
that's and
saying.
that's and that's what I get into when I say this. Let me use this as an example, as a comparison. I'm from 2022. Today is what? April 8th, 2022. What if I took my black ass to April 8th, 1967, and I said, hey, y'all, my name is OG the Beast, and I'm from the future? I would probably be looked at as a genius based on what I know, just regular shit. You know why? Because I'm from the future. That's why. So when people say shit like Buddy Hield would drop 30 on them boys, well, he probably should because he's from the future. But if you give these guys that's from the past the same shit that we got in today's game, the same equipment, the same access to everything that we got, there's no doubt in my mind guys like Jerry West wouldn't be a bucket. Guys like Walt Frazier wouldn't be a bucket. Guys like Oscar Robertson wouldn't be a bucket. So if we dropping guys from today's game and placing them 60 years ago, 50 years ago, of course, they should be better than everybody out there because they from the future. If I'm going back to the 60s to race, I'll take my Chevy Tahoe and smoke the best car they got. Because we know shit now technology-wise that they didn't know then. So, of course, guys of today's game should be better than guys of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s because it's evolution. As people, we evolve. And not only do we evolve, but our brains evolve. Technology evolves. Everything evolves. The game of basketball evolves. You know what I'm saying? So it would be
the game of basketball in the last 5 years is just
different. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. So we are constantly changing every decade into something new, a better form of ourselves, right? The people are getting smarter. You know what I'm saying? So I would imagine that if, like I say, if given the same opportunity, if given the same tools and given the same equipment and technology that players have of today's game, those older players that were actually a real talk bucket would have no problem getting their shot off today. I mean, it's just point blank period to me. Like, I hate when people try to compare today's players to players from 50 years ago and say, well, if they did this, they would be this. Like, well, I mean, they from the future. I mean, shit. If I could, you know what I'm saying? Like, drive my car against that first Ford in the 1940s and say, well, shit, if I race my Tahoe versus your Ford, I'm going to win. Well, my guy, you're from the future, my dude. Yeah, you're supposed to win. If you drop Buddy Hield in the 60s, he's going to average 30. Well, he's from the future. He's supposed to average 30. You get my drift? So,
no, right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just my thought process on it, because people like to say, oh, these guys are plumbers. These guys wouldn't be shit in today's game. Look at them for what they did in their era. Stop trying to compare it to today's game because they're at a massive disadvantage. If you're looking at the game in the way it was played in the 60s versus the game and the way it is played in the 20th century and trying to say, well, if he played and he brought his 1960s game to today.
Not even back. You don't even have to go that even all the way far that back. Just even like 2000s to like to now. Like it's even like
20 years
like,
ago.
Who was JJ Redick. I seen JJ Redick say this. He said that he feels like he got drafted like 6 years before he's supposed to would have got drafted.
Yeah.
JJ Redick, from what I remember, like not even what I remember. I'm not like I'm old as hell. JJ Redick had a strap.
No doubt.
If he would have played now, where it didn't, like the idea of like teams taking 30 threes in one game, that was just like so like that's like
an anomaly.
At that time abstract thought. Like what? Who co-signed that?
Yeah.
What coach is allowing his players like? But now that's the norm.
Right.
That's like the norm.
That shit was frowned upon. It was like 30 threes. Like threes was considered a trick shot when it first came into the NBA because
terrible
of the merger.
Shot. Terrible shot.
The 3-point shot was implemented in the NBA to try to give some type of entertainment, to bring some entertainment to the game. The merger, the ABA-NBA merger happened in 1976, right? That's when all them guys came over, and not only did the guys come over, but they also took some of the rules, and one of them was the three-point line. You know, so once they implemented it, and the first time it was put into the game was Magic Johnson's rookie year in 1979-1980. So ever since then, when it first came out, it was considered a trick shot. Now it's a deadly weapon. So look how far we've come when it comes just to the three-point line. They talk about adding a 4-point line. I don't know how true that is, but it is what it is. But before we cut on up out of here, Mike, I need you to tell me your top 10 NBA players of all time. Let me hear what you got.
Okay. I might have to start this list off with the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal at 10. I'm gonna work my way up to Tim Duncan at 9. Larry Bird at 7.
At 8?
Yeah, Larry Bird at 8. Magic Johnson at 7. Oh no! Actually, scratch that, scratch that. At 10, I just forgot. I just literally forgot. I can't. Oscar Robertson. No.
Ooh.
Nah. Wilt at 10.
Okay.
Wilt at 10. Oscar at 9. Sack at 8. Tim Duncan at 7. Bird at 6. Magic at 5. Kobe at 4. Wilt at 3. No, not Wilt. Kareem at 3. Bron at 2. And Michael Jordan at 1. I feel
Okay, so
like
you
that's.
had Wilt at 10,
Mm-hmm.
Oscar at 9,
Mm-hmm.
Duncan at 8.
Mm-hmm.
You
No, no,
had
no. Shaq at 8.
Shaq at 8,
Yeah.
Duncan at 7.
Yeah, I had Duncan over Shaq.
Okay, Duncan at 7. You had Bird at 6,
Correct.
Magic at 5.
Correct.
Who you had at 4?
Kobe.
Kobe at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem.
At 3, who I feel like doesn't get the respect he deserves.
Jordan, and Bron. Or you had Bron at 2, Jordan at 1?
Correct.
Good man. This is very, very close to my top 10 all-time list. Very close. And usually top 10 all-time lists have the same players, give or take, but usually people have Bill Russell. You got Oscar Robertson instead of Bill Russell, right? Usually the guys that don't have the guy that I have in mind, they usually sacrifice him for Bill Russell, and that's why they don't have him. But you sacrificed it, both of them, for Oscar because you don't have Bill Russell or the guy that I feel like is a top 10 player and one of the most underrated players of all time that don't get his respect. My
Who?
top 10 players, I'm going to tell you, my top 10 players of all time at 1, I'm going to start at 1 because this should be obvious. At 1, I got Jordan. At 2, I got Bron. At 3, I got Kareem. At 4, I got Shaq. At 5, I have Kobe. Shaq is the most dominant force we've ever seen, and he's responsible for one of the greatest single seasons we've ever seen. The man won every single award in one season. And if Shaq didn't have that toe injury, he could have arguably been the greatest of all time. If he didn't have that toe injury and he had work ethic, because him and Kobe would have rambled off so many titles together, it would have been crazy. But Shaq's dominance.
Those some huge ifs.
It is. But Shaq's dominance to me alone, and of course what he did, if you go look at the numbers and go look at what he accomplished throughout his career, it's exquisite. We talking about 28 and 11, 20, 25 and 15. Like Shaq was amazing. Three-time Finals MVP, 3-time champion. Like how many people can say they have an MVP and 3 Finals MVPs? No. Yeah, 4-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, and 1-time league MVP. How many players in NBA history can say they have 3 Finals MVPs and 1 league MVP? How many? You know? Tim Duncan. Let's run down the list. Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. That's it. Magic. That's it. 5 guys in the history of the game that could say they did what Shaq did when it come to accolades. And the only reason why I have him at 4 is because I have Kobe at 5. And I can't put Kobe ahead of Shaq because when they was on the same team together, he was the man. So if 2 players you putting in your top 10 and they played together, and one was significantly better than the other one, or classified as the man of that team. I don't want to say significantly better, but classified as the man on that team, there's no way in hell I could put him ahead of him. So I got Shaq at 4, Kobe at 5, Magic at 6, Larry at 7. I have Hakeem Olajuwon at 8, who you missed off your list. And I have Duncan at 9. I just think Hakeem Olajuwon was a significantly better basketball player than Tim Duncan, point blank period. Yes, Tim Duncan has five championships, but a few of those championships was on the ass end of his career where he pretty much just rode the coattails of a squad to get that, right? We could legitimately say Hakeem.
Some people saying about Shaq.
Huh?
Some people saying about Shaq in 06.
What, Miami? I mean, Shaq was still averaging 2010. You know, but
he was
still 2010. It was better than what Tim Duncan was averaging his last playoff run and season. Tim Duncan in his 7th season averaged 18 and 10. Or 9th season averaged 18 and 10. 9th season. What superstar do you know in their right mind in the middle of their prime is putting up pedestrian numbers? You know what Kobe was averaging in his 9th season?
Steve Nash.
You know what Bron was averaging? He said Steve Nash. You know what Bron was averaging in his 9th season? But we're not calling Steve Nash an all-time great, a top 10 player all time.
Yeah,
we like to put Duncan in that category. Tim Duncan in his 9th season, in the middle of his prime, at 29 years old, was giving us 18 and 10 and still winning 55 games. Kobe didn't have that luxury. He couldn't average 18 points and win 50 games. It's not happening. He had to be a dog every time he stepped on the court, point blank period. So at 8, I got Hakeem. 9, I got Duncan. At 10, I got Wilt. So that's my top 10 all time. But yeah, man, it was great having you on the show, man. We're going to get on up out of here. Questions from the fans if y'all got something raining in now. It was great having Mike on, man. Let's answer a few questions and let's get the hell out of here, man. What y'all got? Big old top 10 is kind of nasty, but that's just me. Yeah, I mean, it's new. You know, it's something I ain't seen, you know, but Big O should be at least top 15 in my opinion. He ain't too far from the top 10. But Mike got him in his top 10. Hey, if I was you, I would post that on TikTok. Maybe you'd get some traction from it. I can't hear you. Your mic went out.
Like his game and everything. What's your favorite NBA jersey?
Favorite NBA jersey ever? Probably them throwback Raptors jerseys, the ones T-Mac used to wear. I ain't hear nothing you said.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You good now.
I really like the Vancouver
those
Grizzlies
was dope
jerseys
too.
I really like those. Got a special place in my heart. I don't know why. It's just like the colorway.
Nah, them Vancouver joints was tough.
Too bad they was trash.
Who's the top 10 players currently? Off the top of my head, I ain't made no top 10 players list, but off the top of my head, if I had to pick 10 guys, I'd probably go KD at 1, probably Giannis at 2, Embiid at 3, maybe Joker at 4. I don't know. Steph at 5. This is just off the top of my head. Then go second half would be Luka, Ja Morant in there somewhere, DeMar DeRozan in there somewhere. Shit, I don't know, man. It'll be tough. I can't sit down and make a list, but that's who I think.
D-Book.
Yeah, Book is in there too. He need his flowers.
D-Book, Steph, Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, Bron, KD.
Brian, I forgot about Brian.
I know I'm at 8, so two more. I can't say DeMar DeRozan. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's
DeMar leading the league in points right now. Points scored, not average. Points scored.
I don't think he's ever been. I don't think he's ever been a top 10 player, like ever.
To this year, he's an MVP candidate. We the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. DeMar's averaging 27, 5 and 5.
You honestly think they're gonna get out the first round?
Depending on who we play.
Hey, the Bulls have not beat a top seed all season.
Hey,
like, not a single
I
one.
know this though.
In the East or the West.
When them playoffs start, them records go 0-0.
Not a single game.
Yay, last question. Yay or Wheezy? Give me Wheezy all day long. It's not even close to me. What you think?
Yeah,
Kanye or Lil Wayne?
Easy, baby.
Yes, sir. No question. No question. All right, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Sports Behavior Podcast. Y'all already know what it is. I'm OG the Beast. This episode will be up on YouTube tomorrow. If you didn't catch it today, shout out to my man, my guest, Lights, Camera, Mike. Go follow that man on TikTok right now. Spread the word about him. Let everybody know he sent you. I appreciate y'all, man. Have a good day. Y'all already know what it is.
It was a pleasure. Appreciate you.
No problem, man. No sweat. We're going to have you on again, get you in that studio, man. Get that mic right, man. Get that mic right.
Yeah.
Get you crispy. Get that backdrop going. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get you in. We're going to get you in. So yeah, hey, y'all already know what it is, man. OG out.